camera. This is probably one of the sort of first usable kind of cameras out there. The reason why I say that is because once we get to sort of 4 megapixels and above, it just meant that you could do a lot more in terms of printing your photos out and not losing too much detail. Anything kind of lower than 4 megapixels at the time was kind of really stretching it, unfortunately. So let's have a look at this. This is a very light camera. I guess there's no batteries in it though. That won't help. Fortunately, it comes in a box, but with no accessories. So let's have a little look at the side of the box and see what it touts for this camera. So it says it's got an optical zoom 10 times, rapid autofocus, extra high quality SVGA movie, 4 megapixels, and pic bridge. So I wouldn't have probably gone with SVGA movie because I think it was limited to 15 frames a second. So it does have a VGA video mode, which is more reasonable at 30 frames a second. So this camera was quite expensive. I bought it not on eBay, but I bought it in a charity shop, £6. So probably on the pricey side compared to what they can sell for. You can actually get these very, very cheap now. Having a look on the side, it just says we've got 38 to 380 mil lens and a 4 times digital zoom. But why would you ever use it? I've never done that on any of my cameras. Rapid AF with predictive autofocus, high quality SVGA, VGA movies. It says it's got 4 megapixels and a sophisticated APO GT lens. That's just talking about the elements and the construction of the lens. It's got a large buffer memory, so that's quite nice because that means it should be a bit more rapid taking pictures before it kind of writes them to the memory card. Progressive capture, so it's got an ultra high speed continuous advanced program exposure line to catch the moment, and then some extra accessories and things it talks about there. So that's the box. This is the camera. It's looking a bit dusty, but it's not bad condition. So the first sort of things to notice is without the batteries it does feel very plasticky and very kind of cheap. Now the lens is kind of hidden away nicely. I guess it came with a lens cap probably attached to the strap, but I don't have that. It's got a mount here for tripod. Got the batteries in this side, so that kind of balances the weight of the camera. When you've got your batteries in, the whole thing should be nicely balanced. Flash, so it's not a strictly automatic flash, you have to kind of push this up. I think you have to select it as well in the settings. So there's some autofocus sensors in there just above the barrel. Looks to be a microphone there for video recording. There's a speaker I think on the top. So there's your shutter kind of button there. You've got a macro mode. Yeah, you've got the flash there as well. And you've got your nice kind of auto mode, do everything for you. Video, I think, program, various different settings here, manual shutter, aperture, yeah, all the different priority settings. And you've also got scene modes as well, which is quite nice. So probably quite good for a sports day back in 2004. You could just quickly go to some action and then take your pictures. That's quite good. Right, it says open. Why is it saying that? And we've got a slot in here. So I was expecting the slot to be inside the battery compartment for some reason. But anyway, there's a slot here for the SD card. Now it will be old-fashioned SD cards. Probably only be able to put a few megabytes into there, I would say. So that's something to bear in mind. It's also got a, looks like it's a non-proprietary type USB there. Maybe a dedicated cable for you to kind of offload your pictures to a computer. What's unusual about this is you've actually got two kind of monitors here. You've got the kind of eyepiece, which is an electronic lens viewfinder, and then you've got a little screen here as well, so that would allow you to kind of set things up like that. And that's the mode there, so you can turn that off, I think. Just have that on that mode for this screen, and then that for review. It does have a proper manual kind of adjuster there for the eyepiece, so that's nice. There's a power supply input there, which probably just saves you power when you want to review and take pictures off of the camera, that type of thing. And then just some buttons there. They're not, well, they are self-explanatory. You've got menu, there's a quick, is that quick view? Dispose of your pictures there, and eye for information, perhaps in the screen about the shot that you're taking, and then just standard sort of movement buttons here. So it's a pleasing camera to look at in that it's unusual, for sure, definitely unusual. This particular model just feels a little bit kind of cheap, unfortunately, and we're going to see now if it works. So let's grab the batteries for it, and I'm going to have to steal some from something else. So we've got some Sonys here to put in, and it tells you exactly, it's quite obvious as well because of the way that these holes are kind of formed, so you know that that's sort of negative, positive. Oop, he says positive, puts it in the wrong way. Positive, there we go, etc, etc. So let's stick that in there. It feels like it's under a lot of pressure, that catch. I think that it's quite common that these break as well, so you might find a camera like this that's a bit broken. Alright, let's turn the thing on then. And we're going to go screen. That's interesting. It seems to have a manual shutter over here. I was expecting it just to go dark, but it's actually a shutter. So when you go like that, see? Wow. So that's the sort of size screen that you used to deal with. And is there any? No. So there's no memory for any pictures whatsoever. You do need your SD card. Let's have a little look for the menu. So you've got drive mode, and that says single. So you can have continuous, I guess. Image size, that looks like it's probably set maximum. Yeah, we'll leave that. Quality standard. Well, I think in these days I would go fine. Auto DSP, maybe leave that on. Digital zoom off, yeah, I think that's good. What's this up here? Setup. So we've got LCD brightness. That's probably bright enough. Power save, always useful. 1 minute. Instant playback off. Yeah, keep that off. Lens accessory none. Language English. So it does take, yeah, other languages there, which is good. And let's keep going along. File memory off. Folder name standard form, noise reduction on. I might be inclined to take that off and just maybe shoot with the best setting that you can get away with the light that's available to you. So you've got date time set, so we won't do that at the moment, we'll just come out of that. This is what happens. Okay, let's go back along. Where was I? Date time, so we'll leave that off for a minute. Date imprint off, okay, and then I'm just going to go along here, reset default audio signals. I suppose that's just turn the thing off. I like it quiet actually. Keep it quiet. Focus signal. Yeah, let's keep that off. Shutter FX. Let's keep that off. And volume. Let's just whack it right down anyway. So yeah, all that turned off. Video output. So it does support NTSC as well as PAL. I'd leave it on PAL because that's where I am. Transfer mode, data storage or pick bridge. So that's the printer. So we'll leave it on data storage. Let's go back up and then back to where we were. So that's that. Now let's see if I press menu and put it into, this is camera mode now. Let's just see. Okay, so it's set up at the moment. 320 by 240, so you definitely want to go higher. Don't go too high, just go to VGA and you can up your frame rate nicely, so that's fine. Optical zoom off. Well, sometimes when you're doing video it's nice to be able to zoom in and out, although on this camera you probably pick up the effect of the zoom, so it's really up to you. I mean, as long as you don't touch it when you're recording. I'm actually going to set that to on, if it let me. There you go. And I'll leave that as well. Standard movie. So is this, okay, all night movie. That's interesting. So this camera probably won't be very good at night, fortunately. It's just the age of the camera. The CCD chips used to show up quite a bit of noise when you push the ISO out. So this is probably no exception. Continuous AF, yeah, that's fine. Natural colour it is. So it's got a few different taking picture modes, which is quite nice. Let's definitely get an SD card in here, and it does seem to be suffering, this particular one here, from something in the lens. Can you see that? So that might be mould. It might just be dirty on the outside. I would imagine it's probably inside. Let's just see. Going to give this a bit of a clean, but it does look like it's got the old fungus inside, which is unfortunate. Now, you might have different results if you've got a lens which has got some fungus in. Indoors you might find that you can take pictures quite happily and things don't show up, but as soon as you get outside, that's when you tend to see it a lot more under bright light. Yeah, there's definitely some there, so that camera's probably got to go, but before it does, let's put a memory card in there. Have I got anything suitable? So let's see. Yeah, these are kind of ones that should work. This is a 1 GB. Oh, he says that. It should be fine. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. So remember, I've got to slide that and then put it in. It's telling me which way to do it, isn't it? Maybe not. Yeah, that's right. That's in. Okay. Switch this camera back on then. Let's say set date and time. Okay, why not? So it's set up for 2004. It's now the 7th. So let's go 7. Let's go, yeah, that's right. Just make sure it was the right way around. And we've got to jump forward 21 years. To 25, and it's now 1:38, so 1, go that way. Quite a small screen. 38, okay, set. I think it's set. Good. So the control for the zoom lens is there. It's a little bit noisy. I've got it set to auto. I'm just going to take a picture of the box. And this is without flash. And then I'm going to do one with flash as well. So I need to open up that. That does seem to be charging the flash circuit actually. It's doing that at the moment. There we go. It knows, and it's set to auto. Oh, it's pretty bleached out, but then I'm very close. As you can see, I'm going to put that down again. I'm going to try recording a short video. So let's just make sure that that is going to work. So here we go. This is my video. Remember these cards? That's got a cross on it. It's probably no good. It's a XD card. Got several XD cards here. MMC card. There's a compact flash. I might be lucky with my compact flash cards because I've just got myself an Amiga 600 computer, which means I'll be able to maybe use one of those cards, load it up with some games. Oh, there's a really low card there, 32 megabyte multimedia MMC card. And we got Sony Special M2. We've got quite a rare card there. There's a XD 1 gigabyte, so that's Fuji and the Olympus. There's an adapter from something, and a few little mini ones there. So a micro SD. Power on. And it's saying battery is exhausted. Can you believe it? Yeah, I've got a feeling some of my batteries definitely need replacing now. That's the other thing as well, is if you've got some old cameras put away, you probably find your batteries have had it. So mix and match again. That's gone to 320. It's basically forgotten the settings I told it. So I'm going to go 680. Thank you for watching this video. Please can you like and subscribe, and I will make some more videos in the future. Please let me know what you think about this camera and whether or not you like some of the later versions of the Dimage.